This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Raw last night was full of chaos, surprises, and major Elimination Chamber implications. And today we're breaking down every single thing that happened. Whether you're watching this live or on demand anytime on YouTube, just want to let you know this podcast is fully interactive. So all you have to do is just participate in the chat, and I always respond. You know, I had a lot of messages last week from all the episodes and the videos that we put out, and I take the time to respond to every single message. So today's message that I'm asking you right now is, how would you rate Raw? What did you think of Raw? But today we're going to be talking about the referee incident between the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match. There's an unsanctioned match announcement. We're going to look further into who attacked Jade Cargill. Judgment Day, do they need a shakeup? AJ Styles' future and Jey Uso's impending WrestleMania moment. But first, we're going to start this by talking about that referee incident in the Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor match last night on Raw. The question I'm asking is it a mistake or was it a part of the story? So I always say that I am a semi-retired pro wrestler, and today I'm your host. And the reason why I say I'm semi-retired is because I still do intend to possibly go into the ring one day really soon. Just keep your fingers crossed and just keep looking. But I want to give you my expertise as a pro wrestler, every single thing that happened with that main event. And I want to know what you think as a fan. So the main event last night was Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and the winner of that match would get a spot, the last spot in the coveted Elimination Chamber match. The Elimination Chamber is just as important as the Royal Rumble because you can punch your ticket to WrestleMania. Yeah, you get to be the runner-up. You know, you're not the person that won at the Royal Rumble, but you know what? It doesn't mean that because you didn't win the Royal Rumble and you won the Elimination Chamber that you're any less than. So in the finish, or what looked like was going to be the finish of the match, Seth Rollins led with the pedigree, and then it was the cover. And when the ref was counting, it looked like the ref didn't like the ref counted to three, or the ref didn't count to three. So that's Seth Rollins there. Let me show you the picture of the ref count. Here's the ref count here, and I'm looking. When I looked at that, and I grabbed that screenshot there from WWE Raw on Netflix last night. Just a screenshot, using it to illustrate the example right there. His hand was on the floor. The referee's hand made contact with the floor. It just didn't make a noise. The ref was pulling his count because I guess the referee didn't think that was the finish or didn't know that was the finish. But one of the things that I always say to referees is that you really don't need to know the finish. The only thing that the referee needs to know is anything crazy that's happening in the match. And WWE and AEW and TNA, those kind of wrestlers, the mainstream pro wrestling companies, they have a leg up. The referees have, IFBs in their ears, so they can hear exactly, what needs to be told to them. If something's changed, they get to know on the fly just as well too. But the thing is that if the referee doesn't know the finish, you should always count to three. But when you look at that picture there, one of the things that I think is concerning, and I think the person who gets the heat is always supposed to be the wrestlers. The wrestlers are always supposed to get the heat. The referee is supposed to seem impartial. The referee is supposed to seem like they're not in on the gimmick. However, looking at this though, it was Finn Balor. Finn Balor couldn't see the referee. And one of the things that you do, you can't go by air alone because you might kick out too early. Sometimes you want to get that 1, 2, and right when your hand is right there, that's when you kick out, and that's when you could grab the crowd. The crowd goes, oh, and they clap because it was so close. But you have to make eye contact with the referee in order for you to kick out when you were supposed to kick out. And looking at Seth Rollins there, his hair was covering Finn Balor's face, so Finn Balor wasn't possibly able to see the kick out. So I think that could be part of the issue right there as well too. Why that match possibly got jacked up there like that. But if you ask me, I don't want to say that it was a botch, right? Because stuff happens, right? And was it a mistake? I don't know. Was it a part of the show? I don't know. But the professionals that Seth Rollins and Finn Balor is, they were able to fix it up, and you couldn't even really tell what was happening. If it was a legitimate mistake, the referee should have counted the pin and counted to 3 and just let it be what it be. If the referee had counted to 3 and that was not the way that the match was supposed to end, it's not the fault of the referee, because his job is to count to 3, and it's the wrestler's job to protect the referee, and it's the referee's job to protect the wrestlers, okay? So I think in that part, the wrestlers didn't do a good job protecting the referee, and the referee didn't do a good job in protecting himself. He should have counted to 3, and you know what? When he goes to the back, Triple H would be like, yo, what the hell happened? Or the producer would say, what the hell happened? And then the referee's going to say, look, they didn't kick out, so I counted to 3. And whoever's in charge, the Triple H or the producer of the match is going to say, okay, didn't kick out. So now the heat is going to be on Finn Balor. Why didn't you kick out? However, now, if that was the way that, if it didn't go the way that it was supposed to go, and the referee did not count to 3 for that finish, now when they go to the back, Triple H or the producer is going to say, what the hell happened? And they're going to say, he didn't count to 3. And because he didn't count to 3, the referee is the one that gets the heat backstage, and the wrestlers go away scot-free. The wrestlers, the fans are never supposed to chant that the referee sucks. No. This is not the NFL. This is not the NBA. This is pro wrestling, and we get the ability to alter everything before it comes to the air. So it shouldn't be that the referee is the one getting the heat. The person that's supposed to get the heat, again, is the wrestlers. But I was looking at it like this. If it was an accident, or let's say it was a shoot, it was a real thing that was supposed to happen, Seth Rollins was supposed to possibly lose the match, and then Finn Balor was supposed to go in and say, oh, I got the 3 count. It's what it is. And then, Seth Rollins could say, okay, well, you know what? The referee counted 3 on me, but he didn't count 3. Something happened. The referee screwed me. And because of that, they could put him in the Elimination Chambers match as well, too. But you know what? That doesn't really look like what happened, because they still went ahead and let Seth Rollins complete the match again. Or maybe Finn was supposed to win, and just to take some of the heat off the referee and keep everything going, they said, F it. Just let Seth Rollins go ahead and just win the match and move on, so that there's not really a big black eye on this. But again, my perspective as a wrestler, was this an actual mistake, or was it an intentional way to set up future drama? If you ask me, I think this was a mistake, and the WWE, the wrestlers in the ring did a really good job at covering Emma in up. But what do you think? Do you think the referee not counting 3 in the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match was a part of the story? Was it an accident? Tell me what you think in the comments, in the chat, whether you're watching this live or on demand. But, speaking about Seth Rollins, I want to talk about something about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins makes a lot of money in the WWE, and Seth Rollins has a stylist, and somebody gets paid money by Seth Rollins to dress Seth Rollins. Last night, let's take a look at Seth Rollins being interviewed in the backstage of Raw by Kathy Kelly. And when I saw that jacket, I said, golly, what in the blue hell is Seth Rollins wearing? So the things that came to my mind when Seth Rollins was wearing that jacket was, it's like, you know what? That man that looked like Clifford, the big red dog. Don't he kind of look like Clifford in that all red? Kind of. But it gets even more than that. When I was sitting there looking at it, I'm like, yo, what the hell? Nah, it got to be more than that. So I got a son who's 2 years old. And when I see him, I want to ask him, who does he think this is? Because who do I think he looks like as well, too? I think my man looked like Elmo. Elmo, yes. You don't think that Seth Rollins kind of looked like Elmo in that whole entire getup that he's wearing there? I mean, I got one even better for you. These are the 3. I thought of 3 different things that Seth Rollins looked like. And this one here takes the cake. You ready for this one? Why my man Seth Rollins look like Gossamer? I mean, that picture there looks like hand in hand, right? Like you got Kathy Kelly to the side, and she's pointing, except that she's not being choked by Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is there in all red, and Gossamer is standing there in his all red outfit as well, too. You know, I think the only thing was that Seth Rollins' shoes wasn't white. His shoes were black and red. But what do you think? Tell me in the chat. You think that Seth Rollins was walking around looking like Gussamer from the Looney Tunes? Tell me in the chat. I 100% think that he looked like him. But if you're enjoying this episode right now and want more pro wrestling insights, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I've had, in the last week, over 27 new subscribers, and the subscribers mean that you guys think I'm doing a good job. So I really appreciate the likes. I really appreciate the accolades, the attaboys, and we're working real hard to grow this brand, the Tristan Law Show, and blow up. And then, you know, maybe one day we could all hang out. You know, you never know. But up next, we're going to take a look at Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and this unsanctioned match and what it really means. So when Kevin Owens dropped Sami Zayn on his head a couple weeks ago, it was like, wow, you know, it's like he's going to be out for a while. You know, they said he had compressed, his spine is compressed and he has nerve damage and stuff like that. But the thing that makes me suspend disbelief is, I mean, it makes me not be able to suspend disbelief is that he doesn't have a collar on. He just walking around and he just stretching that neck and stuff like that. Like, come on. I don't really believe that, right? But this is, for me, I'm getting too much out of the wrestling because not everybody's watching this match or watching Sami Zayn going, you know what, maybe he needs a collar on his neck. Maybe he shouldn't be, you know, running around like that, you know, without any protection on his neck. But I know, based on the storyline, that WWE is not going to sanction that. You know, anybody in the WWE that's in charge of anything, you know, storyline, or even shoot, like the medical team, the board of directors, Adam Pearce, you know, Nick Aldis, Triple H, everybody's like, no, we're not doing that because you're not cleared to wrestle. And what I saw coming, I was like, you know what? They're going to have an unsanctioned match. They're going to let Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat the holy hell out of each other at the Elimination Chamber. And you know what? And that's what they gave us. At the end, Adam Pearce said, you know what? Fine. You're going to have the match, but it's going to be unsanctioned. And when I look at unsanctioned matches, AEW has done unsanctioned matches. And AEW and WWE have a different approach to pro wrestling. When AEW does their unsanctioned matches, I think they call it the lights off matches in the arena, I think that WWE, they should definitely go in a different direction. Because if the match is truly unsanctioned, should there be a referee? Tell me what you think in the comments. I think that the purpose of the referee, if there is a referee in this unsanctioned match, he should only serve one purpose. Not to count to three. I mean, maybe to count to three. Maybe. Right? But just to make sure that the two guys don't kill each other. But then again, there's no rules. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to participate inside of the rules of the WWE. So I hope that WWE does it a little bit differently than AEW. They don't just put them in a separate color shirt to show that, hey, this is not really unsanctioned and stuff like that. Maybe just have the referee just in their regular street clothes. Maybe have, you know, Sami Zayn grab a referee from wherever it is and say, hey, look, I want you to count this. Even though it's not sanctioned, I'm going to grab you by the arm and lead you to where Kevin Owens is. I want you to follow. And at the end, whoever's shoulders are on the ground, I want you to count 3 to see who can get that unsanctioned match. But here's my thing, though. Does this make Sami Zayn look reckless, or does it make him look a little bit more vicious? I think that Sami Zayn is kind of soft. I think he's really soft. And I think that he's running around doing all the righteous things and trying to be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. But the thing that Sami Zayn is not doing is standing up for himself and getting what he wants. Yeah, you know, people like Kevin Owens always do what's in the best interest for them. But what about somebody like Sami Zayn? You know, he could have used Kevin Owens last month at the Royal Rumble to get that, you know, that edge and go ahead and possibly get himself a championship match at WrestleMania. But no, he wanted to do the right thing. He wanted to be high and righteous. It's because he's high and righteous now, like, it makes him look soft. He's almost like Superman. I personally look at Superman and I say, how do you have so much trouble with somebody like Lex Luthor? Like, you're so fast that you could snatch him and put him on the dark side of the moon, and nobody would even notice that he's even, that you were even there. It would take them a second to notice, hey, wait, wasn't Lex Luthor just standing right here? But like Sami Zayn is just so righteous, and he's just always doing the right thing. So it's like, I think that Sami Zayn needs this unsanctioned match. I think that Sami Zayn needs to be a little bit vicious. Why does Sami Zayn need to be a little bit vicious? Because I think that next year this time, that Cody Rhodes is going to be a heel, and they're going to need a big baby face to replace somebody like him. And who they're going to put in there? Sami Zayn. Right now, they could build Sami Zayn up so that next year Sami Zayn could be the WWE champion, undisputed champion. Why couldn't he? They have a whole entire year to build him up. So now you give him those battle scars from getting in the ring with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens put Randy Orton out on the shelf, dropped him on his head as well too. Imagine if Sami Zayn is the one that can slay the beast of Kevin Owens, and right the wrong for every single person that's ever been wronged by Kevin Owens. And then when Randy Orton comes back, he can just move on and go get that championship from Cody like he supposed to. You know, maybe just drop a quick RKO and Kevin Owens are going to get that championship like he supposed to. He don't got to stay there too long. But let me know what you think. Is WWE making Sami look reckless? Do you think that this whole entire story right now is defining Sami Zayn's character? Do you think that he needs this unsanctioned match? Tell me in the chat. On Friday, we are going to be talking about the most dangerous man in the WWE right now, Jacob Fatu. And if you ask me, I think he's becoming a problem. He's violent, he's unpredictable, and he's already overshadowing Solo Sikoa. Can the bloodline control him, or is he going to be taking over the WWE for himself? Join me on Friday because we're going to be talking about it, but you need to subscribe so that you don't miss it. So now we're going to look into who attacked Jade Cargill and why something feels off about Naomi and Bianca's involvement. Look, I did a whole episode about 4 people that attacked Jade Cargill. And I even added an extra person, so it's technically 5, but that 5th person, that bonus person, is Naomi. Naomi and Bianca Belair found out on SmackDown on Friday who attacked their pal Jade Cargill, and they said that they were going to go to Raw and they were going to handle the business themselves. It took Naomi and Bianca Belair an hour and 45 minutes to find Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the 2 women that are alleged to have do it. An hour and 45 minutes, Raquel Rodriguez was trying to punch her ticket to the Elimination Chamber so that she could compete, possibly to at WrestleMania against Mommy, against Rhea Ripley, but it took them an hour and 45 minutes, them being Naomi and Bianca Belair, to get to the ring to find them. If you attack my friend, look, Raw's going to come on the air and say, before Raw started, this is what happened. But that's not what happened. You had them 4 girls in the arena last night, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. And if you're asking me, out of those 4 people standing in the arena, one of those 4 people did it. But I can tell you who I think it's not. Who I think it's not, I don't think it's Raquel Rodriguez, and I don't think it's Liv Morgan. Because Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez don't got no reason to hide why they did it. They did it. That's it. They did it. If they did it, they would come out and say it with their chest. Because Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan have done more and claim that. Why would they not claim that? If someone attacked my friend, I'm not going to wait till Monday Night Raw. I'm going to show up at their house. I'm going to show up at the airport because I know that we all probably come in the same airport. I'm going to be looking for you. I'm not going to wait for you to have a match and me and my homegirl put on our matching gear so that we can go out there and try to look for you. No, it's a flim-flam. It's a sham. It's a bamboozle of what's going on right then and there. Let me ask you a question. Nobody called Jade Cargill and say, hey, girl, who attacked you? I think that the person that did the investigation or is doing the ongoing investigation of who attacked Jade Cargill, it took you so long to get that video. Okay, fine. Maybe it took you all those months to get the video because, you probably had to request the video and stuff like that. It's not something going through law enforcement. Maybe it's something that's done on a corporate level at the WWE. So 2 corporations had to work together. Fine, I get that. But that's the only video you show. The video showing Jade Cargill being brought into the ambulance and showing Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walking into the arena, it's only circumstantial. We know that. We know that they didn't possibly attack them because you know what? It's like the glove with OJ, right? Because we thought he was there. Okay, no, I ain't gonna lie. We know OJ did it. OJ did it. We ain't gonna lie. But this is something totally different altogether. Altogether. We know that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, they're badasses in their own right. And if they did it, they're going to claim it. So you're trying to tell me out of all the camera footage in the whole entire arena, that the only camera footage was of the two ladies walking in? Where did they go after that? Did they go have lunch? Did they go to their car? How do we know? Where did they go before that? Where were they before that? Why are they coming to the arena instead of away from the arena? I mean, the evidence there is circumstantial, and I don't think that they did it. Can Naomi and Bianca be actually guilty? You know what? As this goes on more and more, yes. Because Naomi and Bianca, if one of them either do it, I'm going to say, I don't want to implicate both of them right now. I'm going to say either one of them did it, and because one of them did it, once they saw the video, and I think it was Bianca Belair, once Bianca saw the video, she was the first one to talking about, oh, I'm going to go fight for my girl. I'm going to this. I'm going to that. Because now the stink is off of her. Because the stink is off of her, now she can go ahead and focus on righting the wrong, but the wrong was not done by Liv Morgan or Raquel Rodriguez. The wrong was done by Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, I think you're guilty. I want to know where you were on the night when Jade Cargill was attacked on SmackDown. Where were you? I want to see you find my iPhone. And Naomi, while you're at it too, I want to see yours too. Because I think you're probably just as dirty. Because you, Naomi, you have just enough reason that you need to get rid of Jade Cargill because you get to be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion and you get to do it with your friend. But Bianca Belair, you get to get rid of Jade Cargill because you see her as a threat. Because she's going to be the one that's going to be a bigger star than you. In order for you to suppress her star power, you attacked her. You attacked her, you left the lane, and now your friend is out, and now you're out here running a bamboozle, a scam, and a flim-flam, letting everybody think that it was somebody else. Let me ask you a question. Drop it in the chat. Who do you think attacked Jade Cargill? Up next, Judgment Day suffered major losses on Raw, and what does this look like for the faction's future? Look, Judgment Day did not have a good night last night on Raw. They all had 3 matches and all 3 of them lost. Finn Balor insists that no new members are joining the Judgment Day, but the Judgment Day hasn't really replaced Damian Priest since Damian Priest decided to go ahead and be his own person, and Jaden McDonough has not been replaced since he got injured a couple weeks ago. So here's the question. Could the group be falling apart? Or is WWE setting up the Judgment Day for a new leader? Let me know in the chat. Now, why is Finn Balor not wanting there to be another member? Is he afraid that someone's going to check him and make him not be the leader? Because I think that right now Finn Balor is like the pseudo leader. Even though there's no leaders in the Judgment Day, no. I think that Finn Balor, he's the one that's in charge right now. He's the one that calls like the day-to-day shots, him and kind of Liv Morgan. Everybody does whatever they want. But I think the reason why the Judgment Day is in such disarray right now is because there's nobody in charge. Could they be getting ready to get some a new face into the Judgment Day? Let me tell you who I think that new face is. Aleister Black, a.k.a. Malachi Black, formerly from WWE, but then went to AEW, now a free agent, possibly coming back to WWE because his wife, Thea Trinidad, a.k.a. golly, what's her name? His wife, because she worked there. So could he return there? Could Aleister Black, Malachi Black be on the way back to WWE? Is he the next member of the Judgment Day? That's something that I am pondering. That's something that I'm wondering. But the thing is that in the meantime, will the Judgment Day fall apart or will they bring in a new leader? Look, the Judgment Day didn't do good last night. They need as much help as they can get right now. If you like what I'm saying, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. If you like it, it's the biggest compliment that you can give me. And go ahead and cop yourself a Trista Law Show t-shirt. Just click the link in the bottom in the description. AJ Styles is going to have one of his biggest feuds coming up next. And how does Braun Breaker fit into that picture? Well, you know AJ Styles only been Intercontinental Champion one time since his time in WWE. And Braun Breaker has been there for only a cup of coffee. He's been there for such a short time, and he's already had 2 Intercontinental Championship wins. But he wanted to come up to AJ Styles and press him last week and look him over and try to intimidate him knowing that he's got something that AJ Styles wouldn't mind. You know, AJ Styles is a muscular man. He don't mind making his bag a little bit heavier just so he can get that championship, you know, that belt. So last night doing Dominic Mysterio's match between AJ Styles, at the end of the match, Braun Breaker wanted to get involved, and Braun Breaker was trying to spare AJ Styles, but he actually ended up sparing Dominic Mysterio. I'm curious to how that can play out in the future. Maybe it's something that they're writing on the wall for right now, and then we just have to remember it and call it back later on. But it looks like we are going to get a match with AJ Styles and Braun Breaker, and I hope it takes place at the Elimination Chamber. It could also take place on Raw, right? Because the thing with Raw now is that they're putting high-quality matches on Raw. There's no real throwaway matches on Raw. And then when you're getting the biggest matches appear on the pay-per-views, on the PLEs. So I definitely think that AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker is definitely a big match. I don't think it's something that might happen next week. It might happen the week after. It might happen the day after Elimination Chamber, if not at Elimination Chamber, because they usually don't pack the pay-per-views, the PLEs, with so many matches anymore. So I'm thinking if that happens, if that's what occurs, I'm thinking that it could even take place at WrestleMania because they got 2 nights to fill. You know what? How about you bring Braun Breaker and AJ Styles into a match, have Braun Breaker beat AJ Styles, and then at WrestleMania have AJ Styles beat Braun Breaker and take the belt there. I think it's a nice little story. Where do you think AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker should happen? Tell me in the chat. I want to talk about one of the most popular people right now in the WWE. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Yeet himself, Mr. Uso, Mr. Jey Uso. I think that right now, the best person to be standing toe-to-toe with Gunther is Jey Uso. Let me tell you why. A year ago, Gunther was getting favorable babyface reactions from the crowd. Not even a year ago, even a couple months ago. And it's because of Gunther's body of work. He's a good wrestler. There's nothing that's bad about Gunther. Gunther's a beat-em-up brawler-style wrestler. He's strong, and he's unpredictable, and he's beating people with a simple powerbomb. Jey Uso is probably one of the most popular people in the WWE right now, and he is the ultimate underdog because all the fans are behind Jey Uso. Everybody's yeeting in style with Jey Uso, but Gunther is casting doubt on the ability of Jey Uso. Can Jey Uso beat him? Jey Uso's just a regular tag team guy. All the wrestlers in the back are doubting, can Jey Uso actually beat Gunther, right? But we're not looking at the fact that Jey Uso has had Gunther's card. He almost became the Intercontinental Champion about a year ago, but his brother Big Jim Uso, when they were, having old bloodline brotherly beef, interfered. Jey Uso almost beat Gunther a couple weeks ago at Saturday night's main event. He came close. Gunther knows in his heart that Jey Uso is a formidable opponent, that Jey Uso belongs, and doubt is a killer of confidence, because if you can have Jey Uso doubt that he can do it, he can't do it. But you know what? With the fans in attendance, let me tell you what WrestleMania is going to look like. WrestleMania is going to look like there's going to be tears at the end of that Jey Uso versus Gunther match. Whether he wins or whether he loses, there are going to be people crying. Why? Because you've seen somebody like Jey Uso on the first day on the job. You've seen the amount of work that they've done and he's brought forth in the WWE. For lack of a better term, you actually watched him grow up. Jey Uso's almost a 40-year-old man just like me. So Jey Uso's been there in his 20s. You've seen him grow up in the WWE. You've seen him become the one part of the tag team that you couldn't tell apart. You've seen him become part of the biggest storyline in the WWE in the past 10 years. And you see him venture out on his own, and he's doing his thing. Jey Uso's left the nest. The fans are so emotionally invested in Jey Uso that whether Jey Uso wins or loses, they are going to cry. They're going to shed a tear because they're going to be happy. The way that they're stacking the odds against Jey Uso. This match is being built like similar WrestleMania underdog moments. Moments like Kofi Mania at WrestleMania 35. Like Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson's yes movement at WrestleMania 30. And even, dare I say, Stone Cold Steve Austin's win where he defied the odds at WrestleMania 14 and captured his first WWE championship. There's going to be tears in that arena. There's going to be tears shed at Las Vegas. They are going to blow the roof off of that arena in Las Vegas. Imagine 80,000 people. The music is going to play for so darn long with the fireworks going off and Jey Uso's out there doing the yeet thing with everybody. And the sight is going to be unbelievable. And then imagine him going into the crowd and doing the yeet with every single person in the crowd. It's going to be a sight that you will never forget. WWE right now is building up Jey Uso to be the ultimate underdog. I'm starting to think that Jey Uso can't believe that he can beat Gunther because he's come close so many times, but it's been taken from him. What's going to make this time different? I tell you what's going to make this time different. What's going to make this time different with Jey Uso is that he has the fans behind him. He has the whole entire Yeet Nation. My brain is about to blow up right now. Listen to me. They had Gunther right now last night step into the territory of Jey Uso. Jey Uso's territory is the crowd. Jey Uso is a man of the people. He doesn't come out through the entrance. He comes out through the crowd. And then he does the whole yeet thing with the crowd, and they all do it. He takes one little kid, and that little kid did the yeet thing. Well, let me tell you what Gunther did last night. Gunther came out through the entrance, not the entrance, through the crowd, and he started berating the audience. And there was a little kid there that had a sign that said Yeet Mania. And right next to that kid was another kid that looked like maybe it was his brother, maybe a friend, cousins, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then Gunther told that kid to shut up and get out of the way. That's a Jey Uso fan. And that's a fan right now that really is probably at school. Well, no, school's probably out this week, depending on where you are. But that kid is telling all his friends on Fortnite that I want Jey Uso to win, and he's buying in the win for Jey Uso. Tell me what you think in the chat. There's going to be some real thug tears cried at WrestleMania. I promise you. Listen to me when I'm telling you this. WWE is doing a bang-up, one hell of a job with Jey Uso that they are building the emotional investment, and that's why we care about Jey Uso so much. Listen to me when I tell you this, right? Because this is going to live on YouTube forever. And this moment with Jey Uso at WrestleMania is going to live forever. You are not going to remember exact matches with Jey Uso leading up to his win at WrestleMania, but what you are going to remember is how it made you feel. That you were there live and in color for the rise of Jey Uso. You got to see Jey Uso go from being that tag team guy to being the WWE Heavyweight Champion. Look, it's not the WWE Undisputed Championship, the one that we all grew up as kids wanted to hold. Is it the second place championship? Yes or no? That's not the conversation for today. But the company is putting the reputation of the company on the back of Jey Uso. Is Jey Uso ready? Let me know in the chat. Because if you ask me, I think that Jey Uso's time is right now. And we are in a very special moment. And as I tell people, new wrestlers, when you go out, every single match that you go out to, and it's something that I didn't realize until later into my career, is that every single time you go out, just take a second to enjoy what's happening. As a fan, I want you to take a second to stop right now and just feel what is happening. When you see Jey Uso, just don't say nothing unless you're in attendance. Just go ahead, do your yeet, but stop back and take a look at everybody. Stop and look at the arena because you're living in a moment. We're living in a moment that we may never have the chance to get again. Jey Uso is the man. Jey Uso has to win WrestleMania. Jey Uso is being built up right now as such a big babyface that I think that he's going to be a bigger babyface even than Cody Rhodes. Even though Cody Rhodes ain't no babyface. Oh, yeah. Cody Rhodes is a heel. And that's another topic for another time because Cody Rhodes is not Monday Night Raw. We ain't talking about him. Let me ask you a question. Is this Jey Uso's Kofi Mania moment? Is this Jey Uso's yes movement moment? Is Jey Uso winning, defeating Gunther at WrestleMania? Is this his Stone Cold Steve Austin beating Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania moment? Is this the same exact moment like Shawn Michaels achieving his boyhood dream and winning the WWF Championship at WrestleMania? Yeah, I think so. I really think so. And we get to watch it live. It's like once every couple of years, WWE just finds somebody and just puts the battery in their back, puts the rocket on their back and sends them straight to the moon. And we have the opportunity to watch that live. Folks, listen up. Open your eyes. We're in a moment. When you are watching Raw, understand that Jey Uso is special. And we might not get that anytime soon. Whew. Well, the New Days, they're definitely heels now. And what does this mean for the LWO? Listen, if you don't want to see my ugly, muggly face 6 days after every episode, you can catch the podcast version wherever you find podcasts, and even here on YouTube. Just make sure you hit subscribe wherever you are listening or enjoying this podcast. So New Day came out. They cut a very strong promo against the audience, and they got taken out by the LWO. Let me tell you this. Kofi Kingston as a heel is a very fresh direction that we've never seen before. And for me, I never really hated Kofi. And I like that. I like this new shade of New Day. But you know one thing that really makes me hate the New Day right now, that gives me a strong level of dislike for the New Day? No, it's not the fact that Kofi Kingston was a fake Jamaican and he broke my mother's heart because my mother was starting to watch wrestling. Oh, there goes my countryman. And I'm watching like, yeah, he ain't really Jamaican, but I will go with it. And then she talking and she goes, but he doesn't come from Jamaica. No, it's not that. It's Kofi Kingston's beard. I hate the way that the brother's beard is lined up. And just for that, I got heat with him. But either way, the New Day, they called out Rey Mysterio. They attacked Rey Mysterio on last week's episode of Raw. That's how he went off the air. And they said that Rey Mysterio needs to mind his business. Yeah, he's the locker room leader, right? But who died and made Rey Mysterio the locker room leader? I think it's a very solid question. Let me tell you why that's a very solid question. Kofi Kingston's been in the WWE for a long time. Because he hasn't headlined as many WrestleManias or had as many high-profile matches as Rey Mysterio doesn't mean he's not the locker room leader. Kofi Kingston is an OG in his own right. Because Kofi Kingston and his brother, Xavier Woods, had a beef with their old pal, Big E, doesn't mean that Rey Mysterio can go ahead and put his masky nose wherever he wants to. No, he needs to mind his damn business. Now, everybody in the locker room, they put the New Day out of the locker room so the New Day could go get dressed elsewhere. Who the hell are they to decide that those two veterans could get put out? Nah, that don't jive with me. Let the New Day handle their business, and because of that, the New Day are justified in their right to be heels. Because they handled their business and they said what they said, and because you didn't like it, that made it wrong? Let the brothers handle their debate. Mind your business and stay out of family business. And that's why you got hurt, Rey Mysterio. Let me ask you this question, though. Could this be the most interesting the New Day has been in years? 100%. I think this is the most interesting that New Day has been in years. See, I think that since the New Day, since Kofi Kingston lost the championship way back at the SmackDown debut on Fox, way back when, this was like 2020, back when Big E got hurt and left the New Day because, he has to heal his neck, he can't compete in the ring. What has the New Day really done? The New Day hasn't really done anything. And because of that, we now get the ability to see the New Day with this new skin. They get to do this new thing. And I think that's so awesome that we get to see this new chapter of the New Day, because if you ask me, the New Day was getting like stale bread. And bread doesn't even really stale or mold anymore. You realize that bread doesn't really get stale or get moldy anymore? Not not really. You really got to like really leave it out. But either way, that's not the point. The New Day was getting stale. That happy clappy gimmick, that pancake bootio gimmick. Nah, man. Bump the booty jokes, bump the cereal, bump the pancake, bump the dancing, and bump the rainbow colors. Bump the pastel colors, bump the sky blues. Let's be serious, and maybe we can go win some championships. If they keep going at the rate that they're doing, I think New Day's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the WWE. Here's my question for you, and tell me in the chat. Do you think, because you know what I think, do you think that the New Day's heel turn makes them more relevant again in the WWE? Let me know in the chat. Here are my final thoughts. What's ahead for the WWE? SmackDown. Some more Monday Night Raws, and then the Elimination Chamber. We are on the road to WrestleMania, people, and we are ramping up to have such a great time. And I want all of us, I'm urging everybody to enjoy this ride, because we only get this ride once a year. Maybe we'll get it again when we go into SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights in Jersey. And trust me, I'll be there. And I hope to have like thousands of subscribers on this show, on this podcast, and hope to meet you all by then in person. But I think 100% in my heart that we are in a very special time in the WWE. Enjoy as we go on the road to WrestleMania. Some of the biggest moments of Raw last night, if you ask me, I think that Raw was pure chaos. That referee controversy in the Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor match, it left people questioning, was this a mishap or was it a setup? Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is now unsanctioned at the Elimination Chamber. The question is, should there even be a ref? The Jade Cargill, who attacked Jade Cargill mystery, it deepened as Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were accused with flimsy evidence. The Judgment Day, they had a brutal night, losing every single match, and AJ Styles returned to Raw again with a nice match, and Braun Breaker and him are now probably locking eyes. Jey Uso's underdog story is building on Raw, and it gained momentum, and it's getting ahead of Gunther. I just hope that Jey Uso doesn't start feeling himself a little bit too much and lose at WrestleMania. But we ended up with a very spectacular main event between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Raw was unpredictable, but tell me, what was the biggest moment of the night for you? Tell me in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you join me on Friday live here on the Tristan Law Show. We're going to be talking about Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is becoming a problem in the WWE, and if you want to discuss it, join me this Friday live on the Tristan Law Show right here on YouTube. I'm Tristan Law. This was the Tristan Law Show. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.